Hello and thank you for clicking on my channel. Welcome to the Real Movie Podcast. And today I want to share my review of the movie Hellraiser 2022. The director of this movie is David Bruckner. I haven't heard his name, so I searched, and he didn't have any big projects, you could say. He made mostly horror movies, and Hellraiser is kind of his big break. About the actors of this movie, well, when you are making a movie about one of the most iconic monsters in the Hollywood, in the history of the cinema, Pinhead, you don't have much room for big actors. So we don't have any big actors, but they did a fine job. The story of this movie is about a girl and her boyfriend. They steal a box, and of course it's that famous box. It's a puzzle. The girl's brother is mysteriously gone, so the girl wants to find some answers. I'm not a fan of horror movies, to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of movies, and I have to confess something. Hellraiser 2022 is my first encounter with the Pinhead. I'm not proud of that, but I was never a fan of horror movies, because in horror movies there are a few things that is required to do. First of all, you cannot count on the story to be good, because it usually never is. If the horror element is deleted from the movie, you got nothing. And the actors are constantly making dumb decisions. So while watching a horror movie, you definitely need to shut off your brain. Especially when you are making a movie about Hellraiser, Cenobites are the main characters. So whether you like it or not, you're rooting for this horrible things that are about to happen to these people. So mainly actors in horror movies, especially in this type of movies like the movie Prey, Hellraiser, Jason, Freddy, almost every actor is fodder to see a good and satisfying kill. I know there are so many psychological issues behind that, but that is the truth. I found myself having a good time watching Hellraiser. I had a few problems with it. For example, the runtime, I found it a bit long. 2 hours was a bit much for this movie. Maybe they could have cut like 20 minutes of it. But the wait did pay off, because the final act of the movie, it was what it needed to be. It was scary, it was spooky. And by the way, I had to mention this. This movie does not have a lot of, or if I say it correctly, this movie does not have any jump scares. This is the psychological effects that will scare you. They're not actually scary even, they just mess with your head. Because the concept behind Hellraiser and Pinhead himself, or in this movie herself, is something beyond that. You're facing some demonic monsters that enjoy your pain. So they don't think that they are giving you pain, they think they are pleasuring you. And that is by itself a good and weird concept. I remember watching one of the Rick and Morty episodes with these people who enjoyed pain. I was like, what a beautiful concept. And at that time, I didn't know that this was the main concept of Hellraiser. There is a episode in Rick and Morty in which Rick takes Jerry, and Jerry is so cringe that this cringiness of Jerry pleasures those demonic monsters. One other reason that I can say that I enjoyed this movie was that at the end of this movie I was intrigued to watch any other Hellraiser movies, and I was intrigued to watch those as well. So this means this movie did a fine job reimagining, you could say, Hellraiser. And after this movie was over, I watched Jeremy Jones's review of this movie, and he said this movie was not a remake or a sequel or something. This is a movie that happens in Pinhead's world, in Pinhead's universe, in Hellraiser's universe. So, I said, why not check out those other movies as well? And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening to my voice. Tell me, did you watch this Hellraiser movie? I found it interesting. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay for the genre. The kills were gory. The movie had kind of a suspense. I can't say something good about the actors or the storyline, because when you're watching a movie like this, you can't expect that much. Thank you for listening to my voice. Comment your thoughts and reviews down below and let me know. As always, thanks. Bye.